Hello and welcome to the Patreon exclusive edition of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge.
Ryan Seymour.
And we're about to Spizoil Second Coming #1 from Ahoy Comics.
Yes. Not DC.
No.
Because DC dropped it before issue 1 even came out.
I feel like they kind of punked out on this one.
I think they did
I
too.
think they kind of got scarred, and they shouldn't have. But Ahoy Comics picked it up, and we've got Second Coming, written by Mark Russell, art by Richard Pace. The finisher on the Earth pages is Leonard Kirk, and it's really kind of amazing.
Yes.
This is a great read. All right, so just from the cover alone, you can see we have a Superman analog type character, right? And we have Jesus.
White Jesus.
And yeah, white Jesus. We have
Which is,
I wonder if that actually will matter. Will that come up?
I'm curious.
Oh man, that's gotta come up.
Because I was like, there. Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so clearly their means of dealing with crime is different. You have two criminals here. One is bruised and bloodied, and the other one's getting fed.
Yeah.
So this kind of sets the stage. It really, really does. So we're getting a retelling, roughly 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
Jesus is sitting on a beanbag chair because heaven should definitely have beanbag chairs.
Right. It kind of makes sense to me.
It really kind of does. In the beginning, God was lonely.
So why else would you make humans?
Right. Now I got the impression that this was Jesus, not
That's
God.
what I thought too.
Yeah, yeah. And this is him writing on the scrolls. This is that he's the narrator here. God shows up, declaring, he's made mankind, and really he's got this paradox here because he wants mankind to be his friend,
Yeah.
but to also worship him as this great big deity that can control all things.
Yeah. Which, can those two really jive? Can they really work together? And
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
I definitely want my friends to worship me for my greatness, my genius.
Yeah.
But I can't make them.
I just want friends.
I'm your friend, man.
That's true.
Always. So of course, he's got this weird situation, but he's trying to make it work, and he's like, look, I'm going to put them in this garden. It's going to be amazing. Just one thing.
Yeah.
There's this tree with fruit.
Don't eat them.
Don't eat it.
Just don't.
And of course, Jesus, the narrator, is like, I don't know why he actually put this here and then told them not to eat it.
As like any parent knows, if you put kids in the middle of something, go like,
Don't do this.
It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
It's just going to happen.
Now, where traditional showcases of the forbidden fruit,
usually an apple.
it's a nice little, colloquial thing. Some
Yeah.
people say it's like a hybrid of like an apple or pear type thing.
No.
No.
Not in this Garden of Eden.
No. One set of fruit looks like penises.
Yeah.
The other fruit has vaginas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting to me, this is the thing. Eve is eating the penis fruit.
Yes.
Adam is eating the vagina fruit.
Yeah.
What happens if they switched? Is this the beginnings of sexuality here?
I think.
And this is literally, because God shows up. You have eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Do you know what an evil thing you've done?
And Eve, how could we have known until after eating it?
Genius.
Yeah. It's,
Womp womp. Of course, he's like, don't look
Yeah.
call me. It's just one of the funniest moments where he's like,
Get
you
out.
You just couldn't listen.
Just do that crap. Get out.
Adam figured out he has a wee-wee.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Of course, Eve is, this says so much about mankind and the sexes. Eve is sitting there trying to barter with God on the logistics of what the whole outcome situation is. Yeah. And Adam's in the background playing with himself.
I got a pee-pee.
I'm not saying that men are this, and yet we are. We are, 100%. Not wrong. Jeremy's doing it right now.
Yeah.
Literally. So we see God casting them out, and what I love is, as extra punishment, he ordered them to become parents.
Which, as a parent,
I can see that.
it makes sense.
I love my children, but man, there are times when you're like, what did I do? Remember, I don't know if your parents have done this. Mine definitely have. When they do the color purple curse, that's how you know it's a punishment. Otherwise, you have nothing to curse with. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. So it's really crazy because it's like the notion that they go forth and they have these children,
Mm-hmm.
but then the descendants of Eve and
Yeah.
Adam are all of us.
Yeah.
We're not all that great.
Yeah, we're not. Like God designed the human brain to create art, build temples, and make up wild stories, things that entertain them. But instead, people mostly use their brains to kill, enslave, and rip off each other.
All facts. All facts.
Yeah.
And it's so messed up. Maybe they were just trying to steal from each other what they used to get for free from God. I don't know. But they started murdering each other when there was only like 4 people on the planet, so that was a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Yo, the level of insight that Jesus has right now, I'm just like, you know what?
That makes sense.
It really does, man.
Makes
Like
sense.
across the board, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like there was only 4 of us, and we already started murdering. So, and they were all related. Like that's just,
Yeah.
you can't even be like, oh, they were enemies of the. No,
No, it was us.
no. Keeping the human race from devouring itself soon became a full-time job for God.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw him much after that. It seems a little silly now, kicking off all that pain, death, and misery, just because God couldn't tolerate a little fruit theft. That's when you're like, maybe Dad overreacted, like a little bit.
Yeah,
like he might have.
this chain reaction.
I don't know.
Of
It just kind of. This is a deep line. To keep the human race in line, God came up with the idea of law, which is just sort of another word for revenge.
yeah. Here's a list of stuff you've got to do, and if you don't,
You've been this person.
Yep.
Or here's a list of things that you're not supposed to do, and if you've done any of it, you're this. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
which leads to this next thought. In these 2 particular panels, there's a woman that's buried up to her neck, and there's people gathered around her with rocks, and this adulteress is condemned to death by stoning. And Jesus' notes in his log are, but the law didn't make them better people. It just made them feel better about their lack of mercy, which
Yo.
hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
That cut to the core. If that's not humanity at its simplest, I don't know what else is. And he's like, there has to be a better way, not to just escape punishment, but to actually become better people.
Mm-hmm.
And God comes back to heaven, and he's like, look, I'm done. I'm over it. Like, I flooded them. They still don't act right. It's crazy. Like, I never should have mixed their DNA with monkeys. Like, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Man.
It's amazing.
And, Jesus is like, hey, listen, how about I give it a shot? Like, maybe I can, I can try it.
Yeah.
God, of course, and his super big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
My son wants to get into the family business, do you? All right, then. Have
Why
at
not?
it. Show them who you're messing with. Like, it's the total wrong message
Yeah.
of what you presume Jesus is sent down with at all.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy. The angel comes before Mary and is like, do not be afraid. I am the archangel Gabriel, and you shall give birth to the Son of God. And Mary's like, okay.
Like, what do you...
Yes, that's what we're doing. You look kind of crazy and all about that biblical. So, all right, cool.
It's a pretty sweet looking angel.
Yeah, he is pretty dope. It's like Miles Davis.
Yeah.
No, it is Miles Davis.
It is Miles Davis. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's Miles Davis. Miles Davis is the angel Gabriel. Okay, let's keep it real. Got the Jerry curl, got the trumpet.
It's Miles Davis.
It's Miles Davis. Dashikis, the whole nine. It's Miles Davis. That's brilliant.
It
Oh my
really
god, I
is.
didn't catch that the first
No,
time until I
neither
just
did
looked
I.
at it. Oh, that's so good. All right, so then we fast forward 10 years, and we've got Shimon who comes in and is like, Jesus, you want to come with me to the amphitheater? And he's like, nah, I got work to do, man.
Yeah, there's like their favorite gladiators fighting there.
It's like, it's going to be awesome. Galatian the Hammer is like fighting, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And he's like, nah, listen, I can't. You go ahead without me.
Yeah.
And Shimon's like, I don't like going alone, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always alone.
You're like my best friend.
Right.
Like my brother.
Like my broski, man. And so he's like, I tell you what, how about you stay here and help us make this table? Shimon's like, hey, that's
Yeah.
cool. Like, let's go.
And he does a really good job.
Like, is totally all about it. Is really good at it. Sticks around, hangs out, and he reveals like his mom is a lady of ill repute.
She's a working woman.
Yes, of a particular classification of
Mhm.
work style, and she constantly needs him to not be there.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean,
Which,
at
yeah,
least
it's very nice.
she has that mindset of like, hey, listen, I'm working, I need to step outside because I'm working.
Yeah.
Roman soldiers.
Otherwise, you get Rorschach.
Oh man, do you get Rorschach? So all this time comes, Jesus becomes 30 years old,
Yeah.
and Simon has been working there the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, listen, I'm ready to start doing what my dad wanted me to do. So I'm going to get this business to you.
Yeah. But like your dad was a carpenter, so Simon doesn't fully understand.
Right.
Yet.
And he's like, not my real dad. And he's like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, just go with it. Just go with it. He's like, besides, you were always better carpenter than me.
Yeah.
Like, do this.
There
It's
you
cool.
go, man. And as Jesus is walking by, Simon says goodbye, Jesus. 2 Romans walk up and say, Jew, we have work for you. And that, at that moment,
That should let you know.
yeah.
This is not a good plan.
Right.
This is not going to work out. Carpenter, woodwork, Romans. What level of woodwork do they want?
What could cross their minds?
I don't know. I feel so tied to it. I just, it's,
Just can't nail it down.
I just can't, man. I can't. I feel like I'm going to crucify myself for this later. I really am. That was bad. We shouldn't make those jokes. You have to lighten the situation, okay? Yeah. So God decides to just kind of check in on Jesus and see what's going on, see what's up, see what they're doing.
And the moment he looks in is at the moment of his crucifixion.
It's not a good plan.
It's not.
God is not happy about this, okay? Wait, are they arresting him? You're just letting them put you on trial? What are you, an idiot? Like, what's the cross for? It's, God loses it.
Yeah, you're like, you're a god. You can, like, do stuff.
You could end this easy if you wanted to. This lecture is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. 33 years? You only lasted down there for 33 years? I was down there for millennia. Like, this is terrible. Jesus is like, where do you think you're going? Or no, God is like, where do you think you're going?
I've got to go back. They still need me.
He says, oh, no, you don't, mister.
Yeah.
But I told him I'd be right back. He said, I don't even want you looking down that hole until you learn to act like a real God. Letting them crucify the Son of the Almighty, how's that supposed to make me look? That's what I get for having an only child. Messed up, man. Messed up.
So fast forward to present day. Giant alien robots are destroying a bunch of stuff. And a news reporter is seeing a person flying, wearing a cape, coming to save them.
What I love is it's Sheila Sharp.
Yeah.
Love that alliteration.
Yeah.
And in the scene where the superhero is coming down, there is both a bird
And a plane.
and a plane. You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
with that.
there's so much stuff that they've worked in as like Easter eggs.
It's so perfect.
It's so clever.
It's so perfect. It's almost better that DC didn't put this out. Like literally almost better. The superhero's name is Sunstar, and he comes in with one of the greatest Superman scenes I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Head punching the robot to pieces. It's fantastic. But clearly these robots are a little bit more than just robotic beings.
Yes.
They're sentient.
Yeah.
So they really don't want, like, I think they would have surrendered if they were given the chance.
Yeah, but they never were, because Superman, or Sunstar,
Yeah, Sunstar.
is just tearing them apart, like mercilessly, like ripping heads off, ripping arms off.
using arms to bat heads off.
Yeah, and the robots are just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Help, this is bad. God, of course, like, boy, get over here, you need to see this. This is a man that's doing the job.
Right? He is going Old Testament, wrath of God.
Hardcore.
This is justice.
This is it. No questions. Eat my fire. Openly, he makes with the lovin',
Yeah.
smooching all over Sheila in front of everybody, God and everybody, literally. And he's like, holy mole on a pole, could that guy be any more awesome? If you were like him, your problems would be over. When you're God, and you position a mortal being as, I don't know, a model, as some sort of,
Why can't you be like this?
like as some sort of example for what another God should do, I feel like that's dangerous territory. Super dangerous territory. So then we get into a little bit more of a quiet home life situation. Sheila is at their house, and she's meeting with an adoption agent who is very understandably standoffish about the situation.
Because they're not married.
Not married, no.
The boyfriend can't be there.
Right.
And the level of, oh God, what's the right word?
It's like condescension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how breaking down the potential children that can be adopted. We're like, oh, this one's great for SAT scores.
Right?
This one you can probably convince actually is your kid.
Oh my God, it's so terrible.
It was just so dehumanizing.
So completely. But because Sunstar couldn't make it there on time, he's literally flying all over the Atlantic Ocean looking for a flight that has gone missing.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like you're Superman.
Flight goes missing,
Yeah.
and you're trying to find them.
And you can't.
You just can't find them. There's too much, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And at the same time, you're supposed to be someplace else, trying to
That's brutal.
get a child to adopt so you can be a parent.
Right.
And so it's like a double
fail, man.
Yeah.
It's a double fail across the board. Because like Sheila so badly wants a child, and they can't. Like they just physically can't even.
Yeah.
And all he can do is hold her, knowing that he's ruined her shot here to do this. Can we talk about how bad God is for this thing that he does?
Yeah.
So we get to heaven, and there's this massive
orientation thing.
Yeah,
Where like
huge.
New wave of people come in. There's an orientation presentation. Jesus and God are both there. And there's some kind of paperwork snafu.
Oh my gosh, that's so terrible.
Somebody is there, Bill Morgan, but there's no
real paperwork on this guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't find his housing assignment. Like, is he Gryffindor? Is he Ravenclaw?
Right.
We can't figure it out. We don't know. And so God looks it over, says, oh, okay, you're an accountant, married with 2 children, not a regular churchgoer, fan of mean pranks, just died in a Flight 240 plane crash. Sound about right?
Which is the one Sunstar was trying
That's
to
what
save.
he was trying to find.
Oh.
So proof that they did in fact die.
Oh.
Messed up. So, of course, Bill's like, yes, Lord. Because clearly now you're confronted with the truth that there is a hereafter.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm so sorry. I really hate it when the angels screw things up like this. There's been a mix-up. You're not supposed to be here at all. In fact, you're scheduled to be cast into the lake of fire.
I can't even begin to imagine the crapness of that situation. The Supreme Being has just told you,
Yeah.
you're
not supposed to be here.
all eternity.
You're supposed to
Tortured,
burn.
damned.
Yeah. He's like, look, I know this isn't the news you were hoping for. Man, this is embarrassing. And all of a sudden, God starts laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking ha 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 ha, like thick belly laugh. And he says, I'm busting your meat. There's no such thing as the lake of fire. Ugh. Which one of you came up with the lake of fire? Was it you, Linda? Was it you? And of course, poor Bill Morgan, all he can say is, man, I'm going to be sick.
Right.
Like,
what just happened?
I don't even get it.
What I love to, whoever has come up with the idea for the angels and what they look like,
Yes.
you rock. Because one is not even remotely human looking.
No. Definitely from Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's all pop cultural references.
Oh
actually.
my gosh, yeah.
So I think the other one is like a fairy, maybe from like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty, one of those fairies.
Like a fairy godmother, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because the one doesn't have wings.
Right, which is even funnier. But God gets in his face and is like, but you see, it's not much fun to be the victim of a mean prank, is it? And he's like, no, Lord, it's not. Like, this was all a lesson.
Yeah.
God's brand of justice is pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. It's
old school.
It's pretty terrible. But of course, he's like, did you see the look in this guy's face? And he's like, what is wrong with you? Father!
You just told a dude he was going to burn for all eternity.
What's wrong with you? He's like, a little toughening up, kid. That's what you need. A little toughening up. That's what's wrong with you. You're too soft right now. We get it. We get it. So here is Sunstar trying to, make Sheila feel better.
Yeah.
They're talking about it. He's going over his own failures before, and it's just like, this is crazy. Like, how can I make you happy? I can't even give you a kid.
Yeah.
This is rough. And she says the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah.
She's like, look, who cares about being happy?
Yeah.
That's fleeting. Like, I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
Like, we're miserable together, but we're together.
That's amazing.
It's beautiful.
And they retire for the night.
I don't know if that's quite what I would call that.
Yeah, there's a...
They're going to bed.
Yes.
For sure. And then all of a sudden, big Godhead shows up. Do not be afraid.
Yeah, which is like his go-to.
He shows up at some of the most inopportune times, man. I
Yeah.
feel like he does that on purpose, though.
Oh, yeah.
He had this whole time to do this, and he pops in while they're making whoopee.
Hey, guys.
So he comes in and is like, hey, listen, let me explain. He's like, I mean, he's a good kid and all. He's just so sheltered. He has like zero survival skills. It's my fault, really.
Yeah.
Like, I gave him everything. Can he come under your wing? You mentor him.
Yeah.
Because you're awesome.
Yeah.
You've done such a good job.
Like Superman, like he's clearly a corollary for Superman. But
Of course.
Sunstar is like on this pedestal.
Right?
He is the savior for this planet. He's got godlike powers. Who better to teach?
Of course.
And
But he doesn't actually say yes.
yeah,
He's like, okay, but I don't know if, and all of a sudden God's like, thanks, you really helped me out. I'll totally make it up to you. Sorry to dump and run. Gotta go. I'll check in with you soon. Bye. And it's gone.
yeah, and there's Jesus just standing there in the doorway.
Looking like a lost child.
Yeah,
So the next morning, they're going to go bust open this warehouse full of illegal merch.
Yeah.
The illegal merch, counterfeit Pokemon cards, essentially.
mm-hmm. It's real. The black market's huge.
It's quite funny. Sunstar knocks out a goon, the doorman, with his boot, and walks in. And what's funny is like he's like, listen, you should do what I do. Well, actually, on second thought, stay here.
Yeah,
Like, just wait here. I'm gonna clean this up real quick, and we'll talk about it. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. It'll be good.
Jesus is just like, well, why don't we just go in there and talk to him?
Yeah, let me just talk to him, man. Like, I can. Hey, guys, this isn't all right. You shouldn't do this.
Yeah, this is not cool.
Let me talk to you. It's cool. And of course, like Sunstar's like, this is not. Nah.
No,
Like, let me do this.
We're gonna rough up some perps.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, I mean, they're literally going into the Monster Ball things and checking out like the hardcore value.
Yeah.
And all the meanwhile, with one shoe on, Sunstar is handling goons hardcore. And whoever's running this whole shebang is like, go find out who that is and kill him.
Yeah.
They're cutting into business. Well, you're not killing Sunstar.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And just I love the intellectual property theft is everybody's problem. Like
And
there's
you're like,
something.
Wow, he's not. I mean, he's teaching lessons.
Yeah.
He is. Not just pontificating.
Yeah.
So he's like, look, I can do this all day until you tell me what I want to know. Like, who is the person that is supplying you with these dirty goods? I need to know. And as he is beating these guys up, he's literally throwing them outside in a pile.
Yeah.
Where Jesus is waiting.
And he's just like standing there, and Jesus doesn't know what to do, and like
Just
in an
waiting.
awkward way. Like,
Yeah. I mean, people are going through the windows, and he's just like, I'm out here. I'm watching. It's cool. It's whatever. Now, what's crazy is to show you how hardcore this
Yeah.
underground Pokemon card ring is, rather than talk to Sunstar, this dude munches down on a cyanide pill
Yeah.
and dies.
So whatever is behind this is clearly worse than death.
Luckily for this guy, there's no such thing as a lake of fire.
Right, which we know.
Lucky
We've
him.
seen. Yeah, because otherwise.
But he don't know that. So obviously Sunstar's like, look, that's fine. I'll go interrogate the others. I'll find the information I need. I got a plan. He goes outside and he's like, what? Wait, where did they go? Where's the pile?
Jesus, like, I healed them.
And he's like, what? Why would you do that?
They needed it.
Hello? I'm Jesus. These guys were hurt and I healed them. And of course he says, you can't go around healing people just because they're in pain.
Which the obvious question is, why not? Like,
Hi, I'm Jesus. I don't know
that's-
if you I don't know if you ever heard of
my
me,
thing.
but that's it. He said because some people are evil.
but then the real question is like, Jesus gets to the root of it. Why are they evil?
And this is where it is. Well, usually because they're in pain. But that's beside the point.
Yeah. You're here to learn from me. And this, oh my gosh. So then Jesus sees a cross. And he's like, well, what the hell is that? And Sunstar responds with, it's a cross, the symbol of your followers. They're everywhere. And just like, it's like, imagine JFK
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah.
And like every JFK exhibit at every museum was just like guns.
Would it be a gun or a Cadillac? Right? Like a top-down caddy is at all of his like commencement or commemoration pieces. And he's like, why? Why would you do
Like
this?
we got to the moon, and Jesus is having the same thing. Like,
Why would they make a big deal out of the fact that I was crucified? Like that's what was important about me?
yeah, No.
And he's like, it wasn't? He's like, no! Back then the Romans handed out crucifixions like tote bags.
Yeah.
Like they crucified like literally, and if you think about it, it's so absolutely true because
Yeah.
when Jesus was crucified, he wasn't alone.
Yeah.
It was like two thieves up
Yeah.
there. How insignificant. They dealt with thieves with crucifixion, okay?
Yeah.
Like they didn't even necessarily do
It wasn't
anything
special.
really bad.
Everybody's getting crucified.
Yeah.
And
You get crucified.
what
You
I
get
love about
crucified.
this is where Mark makes the story go full circle back to Shimon.
This is so great. Go ahead. You had to
Yeah,
jump
because
on
this is all right. So Shimon's talking. Jesus talking about Shimon. When I was a kid, I had this friend. His name was Shimon. We were like brothers. I left him the carpentry shop when I went to do my thing. It was great trade. There was Roman garrisons. There was constant work needing done, tables, benches, scaffolding. And then the Romans started coming to him with some other stuff, crosses for their crucifixions. And at first, people were spitting on him and like, you're a traitor.
Right.
You're
not collaborating with the Romans.
Yeah, and not just like helping them, you're also creating their means of execution and torture. And eventually he's completely alone. Nobody will talk to him except for the Romans, and the Romans don't even really want to talk to him in so much as like, here's the order,
Right.
fill it. And as Jesus is walking during the lead up to his crucifixion, he's walking down the street, Shimon sees him. And he realizes in that moment, he has made the cross that will kill his brother, his best friend. And he's breaking down, and just Jesus forgiving him. It's like, it's okay, man.
It's good. It's fine. I got it.
And just the follow-up, if you think punishment is what brings salvation to the human race, it isn't. People don't believe in God so much as they hope for their witness to their suffering. And the world isn't saved by violence or bribery, by power. It's saved by being brave enough to not be intimidated, to being honest enough. Like, it's
It's the greatest statement.
Yeah, taking care of ourselves,
Yeah.
each other.
Wow. It is saved one act of forgiveness at a time. Instead of getting angry and striking back, saying, you know what? You messed up. You did me wrong, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Man.
So good. And I went in this, was when DC dropped it.
Right?
I had really thought it was just going to be like this over-the-top, like Garth Ennis style.
Right? Like, I definitely thought it was
Yeah.
just going to just be raw, like Jesus pooping on people.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
This is such a spiritual journal. And in the back, Mark kind of talks about it. Like, he has wrestled with some thoughts, and this is him putting it out on the page and really kind of seeing where it stands.
Yeah.
And that's honest, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to say. This is such a great thing.
One person's journey.
Yeah.
Like, and not like the characters, but like the writer and the creative team, their journey and figuring themselves out.
Now, I will give them all kinds of credit for thumbing their nose at DC, because I do believe that this font setup here is very Heroes in Crisis-esque. And
I applaud that.
way to do it. You know, that's a vibe of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we'll sample your font structure, and because you couldn't put our book out, it's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's still here though. It's still here. So this was a really good read.
It
man.
was.
Like,
I was so incredibly, positively surprised and loved it.
Yeah.
I really did.
It's fantastic. I definitely hope that this continues that same level of intensity and goodness, because if it drops, I will truly be disappointed in that. But this was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Ahoy got themselves a steal.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely check this out. Second Coming #1, highly recommended. It's good stuff. Oh, thank you guys as always for being our special Patreon members. If you guys are going to be in San Diego Comic-Con, come see me, because I'll be around. And all the people of San Diego, you're supposed to find me. Matter of fact, there might be a prize in it. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
And if you're not, I'm still in Columbus.
Find him. Might be a prize in it. Who knows?
Probably
Find
not.
out. Good night, everybody.